ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Purpose Driven Chance. I'm your host, William Grayson, and with my lovely co-host, Leslie Davis. And
Hello.
none other than actor D'Andre Noire. How you doing, D'Andre?
Hello, I'm doing very well. It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to meet you both.
Thank you. Let everybody introduce yourself for everybody so they know who you are.
My name is DeAndre. I have been acting professionally since 2016. My first big notable thing was a movie called Shape of the Past, where I won Best Leading Actor, and things have been kicking off pretty well since then. Movies playing in theaters around the world, and a few movies coming out on streaming and Netflix. So it's been pretty prosperous so far. So I'm very grateful for that.
Again, thank you for coming on. My first question is, what initially drew you to acting, and how has your passion evolved since then?
Well, my mother and I used to go to this church back when I was really young, and they'd always do these plays to kind of, get the youth involved. So I was always the kid that always wanted to do it. I was never afraid of interjecting or public speaking, and I was always the one to memorize my lines. And I think that was about when I was 3 years old. And ever since then, I knew that's exactly what I wanted to do. And as time went by, just to be sure, I tried different aspects of life. I tried the medical field. I tried, just various sorts of things. I was a security officer for a while, but everything always led me back to, my passion. And I wanted to know how I could not only turn my passion, into my lifelong career, but also, be successful in doing it. So learning the ins and out of the industry and, things like that. So it's a constant growing thing, and it's never gotten sour for me.
Okay. Can you describe a moment in your career when you felt your work had significant social impact?
Yes. So I think that would have been 2021. There's two significant things that happened then. For one, I completed the movie Shape of the Past. That's what really got me, I guess, more known, and I figured that I could use that to kind of better my community, better myself. So I kind of used that as a platform to be a kind of like a voice, especially for our community.
Yes.
And with another movie I did, they flew me out to California, and that was, I guess, kind of the highlight of like, wow, I'm really doing this. So those are probably the two biggest cultural like things that like really felt that I really did something.
All right. Leslie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming on. And I'd also like to congratulate you on Best Leading Actor for Shape of the Past.
Thank you. I appreciate
How
that.
was that? How was that receiving that? And did you have some idea that you might receive that award? And how does one prepare for that acceptance speech?
I always like to stay humble. I know what I'm capable of, but I never, expect those types of things, if that makes sense. Shape of the Past was something that I was able to get casted for. It was at a time in my life where I was in an abusive relationship, so it was very interesting to step into that character. So once, I did my thing, and, I actually, like, there's moments when I'm acting that I'm like, wow, I really hit that home. And that was one of those things. And when I was told a couple months later when, I got nominated for Best Leading Actor, I had no idea. I found out the night before. So I showed up, and, being in front of all those people accepting those things, I had to thank my mother, my friends, just for being there to support me with all that. So it was a very emotional moment, and that opened a lot of doors.
All right. And another thing is how did your family take the fact that you were going to start acting as opposed to taking a different path? A lot of people think that's a little shaky, it's a little risky. And I'm sure you're a smart individual. So as a parent, it's like, no, go here, go to school.
Well, my mom, she's one of those people that she laid a groundwork out from when I was very young. So when I say I'm going to do something, she supports me 100%. But what she does is she always likes to challenge my beliefs. And when she does that, she knows that I'm really involved in something. She says, "What are you going to do, if it doesn't work out, or if it fails? What's your backup plan?" I told her that, I said, if you're really driven to something, I said, I don't really believe in backup plans, because that means that you're kind of preparing to fail.
There you go.
And
You're right.
so she was 100% on board, and she's supported me all throughout the years, from the good, the bad, the ugly, and so did my friends, family, and my father. Everyone has been very supportive in my family aspect. The people that weren't, surprisingly, were my teachers in high school. A lot of them were very discouraging, but here we are.
That's right. How do you choose which roles to take and prioritize them, as in, like, I don't want to do this when it goes against my morals? How do you prioritize those?
Well, I look if I can connect to the character in some way. I feel like I have to have some sort of prior life experience to kind of connect to what's going on, or to have witnessed something in order for me to connect. I like to take time to really like dive deep and analyze the character, no matter how good or how bad they are. Really, the only time I won't accept anything is if I feel that it's like something about the character is unnecessary, or if I just don't feel that I can do the character justice.
There you go. That's good. Now here's the main one. How do you juggle everything that you do? You're doing acting, modeling. You're a full-time activist. How do you juggle all that at the same time?
Hold on, winging a prayer. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to kind of balance everything out, and it was shaky at first. You have to balance your social life, taking care of yourself physically and mentally, along with doing all this. So it took a lot of trial and error, but I have set times that I do specific things. I keep a lot of alarms on my phone that let me know to switch tasks. And then my mother is also a big help in saying, hey, you need to slow down and chill out, take care of yourself. But once, after a while, everything's kind of just starts going in clockwork motion, and it got pretty, I guess, pretty routine of how I started to take care of things. So different times are set for different events and scenarios, and I also have a time to just relax and just decompress and get away from everything. I think that's very necessary to do.
Take care of your mental health.
Absolutely, that's a big thing. I have a therapist for that. And she's fantastic. I'm a full supporter and believer of getting the help that you need.
So when it comes to characters, is there any one character that you would love to play that you haven't played as of yet?
I would love to play a superhero. Someone that people can look up to and see themselves in. When I first started, acting, I played a lot of. I love playing villains. That was my big thing. I just loved those roles. But as I've started to progress, I like to play the more dramatic, realistic. But something that I've really wanted to play is a superhero, just especially for kids. And I also have a son. Something for him to look up to as well. And I'm waiting for that one.
All right, y'all hear that, Marvel? Hear that? Green Lantern.
That would be fun.
Have you ever had a character that you played and you felt like after you left, after you completed it, you felt that it was hard to really shake that character, or something stuck with you that's like, wow, I can't cut this loose?
A couple of times. There was two instances that I think that really kind of messed me up, that I had to kind of shake off. One of them was my character Jonah Reynolds from Shape of the Past. He was a prisoner on death row, solitary confinement, a lot of backstory with him. So I did a lot of research on that type of life and what it's like with inmates and everything like that. And that one was hard because I would, I'd lock myself in my room and I'd go through all these lines, and I, go on the same regiment that they would have someone on 23 lockdown would do. And then there was also one from a short film I did called Our First Time. and that character, all because he didn't properly communicate with his wife. He was just the worst type of person. He beat his wife, and I have a really big problem with violence against women, and that one really, I had to really kind of get myself away and let myself go with that one, because that was a rough one.
Wow.
Wow. What
But
that would hurt. Yeah.
yeah.
What advice would you give young actors? I mean, I know you're young, so what advice?
He just turn around and tell a friend.
So, what advice would you give young actors coming into acting that you wish you knew back then that you know now?
I would say know your industry, know your market, because acting is only half the battle. There's a whole type of, I guess, kind of economy that goes into it. There's a whole business side of it. So you have to know how to market yourself. You have to know your business. You have to know your niche, and also stay away from the scammers. There's a lot of, I've been a victim of this a couple of times back when I first started out. People telling you that they can get you things, or agents that aren't really agents that want something. The biggest piece of advice that I ever learned was from this actor in Miami, and he said that if anyone ever asks you for money up front for agents, run. High heels. No one is ever going to ask you money to represent you. And that was something that I always tell everyone that's starting out. And also just, if it's something that you want to do and you know that you're good at it and you know you're passionate about it and you've gone through all the steps to know your business, do what you have to do it, but don't let people blindside you into saying that it's something that is unattainable.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, you're very fashionable. What impact do you are? So, what type of impact do you think you have on the fashion industry in doing modeling and all that?
I like to shake things up. So I typically have like my own. I call it like kind of like I call it professional gothic. My favorite color is black, and that my mother hates that from a young age. That's all I was wearing. But it's what I feel most comfortable in, and I think that it's something that I can bring that's unique, especially again to our culture, to be who you want to be and not follow trends or fashion. And a lot of my clothes, I buy from Amazon or eBay or thrifting. One of the biggest pieces of advice my mom ever gave me was, you make the clothes will make you. It doesn't matter if you're wearing some, I wear $5, $10, $15 shirts. I'm not going to go out there and buy, a $400 pair of shoes or $1,000 shirt. I think that's a little stupid. So I dress how I want to dress, and I dress to look nice, and I dress for me and not for anyone else. I'm not out there to prove anything to anybody. I just want to look good in what I want to wear.
I have a question. Your
Yes,
name, is that your given name, or is that a name you came up with? Any parts of that? And if it is your given name, have you ever just thought about, well, let me come up with this crazy name for Hollywood?
So my government name is D'Andre Hobbs. I came up with Noire in late 2020. There was two reasons why I came up with it. One, I didn't want to be associated with the movie Hobbs and Shaw with the Fast and Furious franchise. I really hate being compared to things. But also I wanted something that I felt that represented me as a person and something that I felt comfortable with presenting, to the world. So I came up with Noire. Noire is the French word for black.
Love it.
My favorite color. And that's where that whole scenario came from.
That's cool. That's cool.
Thank you.
Do you see your son doing a lot of acting?
He says that he wants to. He's very, very creative. We do a lot of drawing, a lot of painting. I take him out, to see the world. I'm not a big person on electronics with him. I want to be able to use his mind, and he's so incredibly smart. He says he wants to do some acting, but with my whole philosophy on that is, this industry is very vile at times, and it's a lot. And I want him to make that decision for himself when he's older versus me taking him on, like a commercial with me or something like that. So when he gets older, if that's something that he chooses to do, then, I'll help him with those steps necessary. But for now, I'm just I keep him out of that side.
There you go.
How old is he? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask how old he is.
Oh, he's 5.
He's 5. Does he recognize you on TV, on the movies?
Yes.
That's got to be cool. I'm sorry.
He loves to sing on TV.
What do you consider your most influential work that you have done today?
Most influential? Honestly, I think that would probably be Shape of the Past. That was just the one that kicked off a lot of things for me. It was the first thing that I was actually able to present as like some work that I was proud of and something that was very well shot and very professional. So I think that would be the most influential as of right now. But on a much larger scale, probably this movie that I was in called Jesus Revolution.
Yes.
That's on Netflix, and that went around the world. And that was my biggest production. I think that would be the most impactful one.
Okay. What motivates you to be a voice of change?
So there was growing up with my mother, she instilled a lot of things into me, especially just about being true to yourself and being your own person. And there's a lot of things that I want, especially the Black community to I guess thrive with, and I always wanted to be a voice for the things that I'm doing. I wanted to let our community know that there's more than one way to be successful. You can do what you want, you can be what you want. And I feel that if I have the power to do something like that, especially for my community and to give back, then I think that it is my responsibility to do so. So it's primarily what really motivates me is the fact that I know that it's something that I can do, therefore it needs to be done. And also just when, little kids or whatever come up to me and, they want to take pictures or anything like that, I think that is, I need to be a role model for them, and I need to really set an example.
All right. Okay.
How is it when you were first noticed, or the first few times when you're out in public and somebody recognized you? That's got to be a crazy feeling.
It was, and it still is. The first time it happened, someone said, "Are you D'Andre?" And I said, "Who are you?" I was like, what's excuse me? I'm like, what do you want? I'm not buying, but it was one of those feelings. I'm a little bit of a paranoid person, but it was nice. It was very uplifting. And when it continued to happen, it's just a very good feeling. I never understood why people in the industry would be so, so aggressive towards people that admire them. It's a great feeling, and I love it. I love communicating with people that, admire my work, or just the journey, or just want to say hi. I think it's a really special thing, and I love it.
If you hadn't done movies, where do you think your career would have, turned to?
I would have liked to stay in the medical field. I'm not the best at math, so I wouldn't see that. I think it would be something along the lines of either arts, or I did security for a time. So it either would be either art or security, one of those two.
Okay, cool.
All right, so my last question. Since Easter's coming up.
I need to see where this is going.
I don't want to spoil it for everybody.
I'm on the edge of my seat trying to see where this is going.
So please tell me, this is my last question, the Easter movie that you got coming up.
Easter, Bloody Easter. That
Oh.
that is a horror comedy that I star in with this incredible woman. Her name's Diane Foster. I shot this back in August of 2021. She's the one that flew me out to California. I was there for about like a little over a month filming. My
Uh-huh.
first time in California, and I had never seen mountains before, so I was just dumbfounded. I was like, y'all really just have that here at all times, huh? But but that movie is a horror comedy about this mythical cryptid called the Jackalope, which is in mythicals just no smaller than it's a regular rabbit with
Right.
antlers, but we made it this huge monster. It's a very self-aware movie. It knows what it is, and it is designed to keep you laughing and entertained. And I cannot wait for that to come out. That's going to be streaming on Apple TV, and I actually am going back to California to have the red carpet premiere for it on the 20th. So I'm really excited to see how that turned out because it's a hoot.
I've seen Sammy Slick.
Oh, Sammy Slick was fun.
Yeah.
That was actually a product from people seeing Shape of the Past. The character that I did in that movie was actually written last minute to put me in that movie because the director Chris Lato really enjoyed the work. So I'm really grateful for him, and we still work together even after these past couple of years. We're very, very close.
Okay.
All right. I guess that's about it. This wraps up another episode of Purpose Driven Champs. Where can they find you? What's your Facebook, Instagram? Let everybody know where they can find you, D'Andre.
You can find me primarily on Facebook at D'Andre Noire. I'm also on Instagram at D'Andre Noire Official, and you can also Google me for all my links and movies, and especially on IMDb.
All right, that wraps up another episode of Purpose Driven Champs. I'm your host, William Grayson, with the lovely Miss Leslie Davis. Good day, good night.